survive. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we reach for the stars. In the realm of flight, we'll never be far. Bow is splashing, engines burning. In this world, we're free from the atmosphere. Throttle wide open, throttle wide open. We dive and climb in this digital ocean. Lights flicker, the world's so vast. Every turn, a new adventure starts. From the ground to the highest peak in the world of flight, we're just beginning to speak. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we reach for the stars. In the realm of flight, we'll never be Through the storm, through the calm, in this world we face it all. From the runway to the final glide, in the world of flight we find our stride. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we'll reach for the stars. In the realm of flame, we'll never be. Join us on a virtual flight, where the sky is our limit tonight. Wings spread wide, we'll reach for the stars. In the realm of flight, we'll never be far.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream by Virtual Flight Diaries. And we are here with flight number 2 of our A2A Ownership Challenge 2026. Hey, Drunk Billy, hey, welcome to the stream and chat. How are you doing? All right, so there was a couple things. There was 2 routes that I was thinking about that we should do. One was, both were New England. One was a skiing trip to Killington, Vermont. And the other one was to go get some lobsters and some beers over in Providence, Rhode Island. So, based on the weather, which is moving in quite quickly, the Killington one is was going to be more of an ice buildup challenge. So we're not supposed to fly in known icing conditions. So we're off to Providence, Rhode Island. So I have scenery for Providence. I had the Innie Bills, Providence, of course, when it dropped for the convention. But I want to try out, I had another one from Fly Too High, so I wanted to give that one a look. So we'll see that one for the first time on network, and should be on multiplayer. We're on the East Coast server, I believe. So without further ado, let's get pre-flighted. Let's get started. We do have some of our repairs done. We have our new MT prop, which was the most expensive item that we purchased. The second most expensive item was that because we flew from Ohio to Pennsylvania with the baffles on the fritz, we kind of cooked one of our cylinders. And if you remember, I was actually made a comment that the number 5 cylinder looked a little warm. Can't see you on the map. Oh, man. I swear I had it turned on. All right, let's look at this again. Problem is that if I have to reset something, so I know I pressed all players. Let's see here. Maybe it defaults to another server. I don't know. Hang on. Oh, okay. We're on the Southeast server. So let's, there we go. Hopefully that fixes it. All right. So we kind of wore out our number 5 cylinder in the flight. So we had to have our mechanic replace the cylinder. So that was our second most expensive item on the list. And then, of course, we replaced the baffles. So here we are. As you can see, we can look at our report. And we should be good. And we can also look at our all right. Hey. Nice. All right, I should have, let's see here. So we could do an inspection here, and you see we have good propeller. Oh yeah, we had to also replace the battery, which I found out aviation batteries are expensive. $800 for a battery for a plane like this. Plane ownership is not for the faint of heart. So awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So how come I can't see your plane though? All right. Well, anyway, that out hopefully. Let's auto FPS setting again, maybe. Darn it. Hang on a sec. Let's kill. Let's kill auto FPS. Problem is we're going into New York, so I'm going to need auto FPS. Going in and around New York. Or else it'll turn into a slideshow. All right, I'm going to have to back all the way out. I think. No, I don't have to back all the way out. All right. So shut off auto FPS. Let's check the... So I need... Okay, so I need... Parked aircraft quantity. Hey, Holden, how's it going? Welcome to the stream and chat. So, one day I will get this this multiplayer stuff right. Just aircraft quantity. If you're talking about multiplayer. Okay, so aircraft quantity. So parked aircraft variety, I can leave on low, right? And it's just you guys, so I can leave this on low too, right? All right. Aircraft traffic quantity. Okay. Parked aircraft quantity, we shut that off. Traffic quantity. There we go. Now I see you. If you have some people disappear, you might want to bump it up to high. Okay, but we could make those adjustments on the fly. We don't necessarily have to back all the way out unless deep in VATSIM territory. So we're on the network too. But it doesn't look good. Actual model matching this time. Oh, cool. So you're in the DA-40. I actually like that plane. It's a fun little plane. I'm sure Asobo will mess it up. All right, so we have to get... we have to do our walk around and pull our chocks and everything like that. So... And... Did that work? Nope. Go in here. Do all that. Let's we got a brand new battery, so we got a little bit of juice, so we could turn them on. Come around. Turn all the lights on. And we'll step back out and... All right, that light's working. Looking good there. Looking good. All our lights are working. Beacon's on. Fortunately, got to pop into the cockpit to show everything off. All right, so let's sort of walk around, check our flaps. That's nice and tight. Works. There's no play there. We would check the fuel, but for some reason the walk around, it can't quite check on that. And I don't think it's a it's not a it's a nice shiny MT propeller. Oh, cool. This little sun's popping out. All right, pull the chocks. Let's check our oil. Oil's good and full. Oh yeah, we had the mechanic do an oil change too. The cows one is fantastic. It is. I have both. I have the DA-42 as well, which is one of my favorite twins. It really is. All right, they're empty. Let's check this one. Nice and tight. And then we would check the, that's on the, oh, there it is. Static port is clear. You wouldn't want to, when you grab this, you wouldn't want to grab it by the trim tab, because that is a no-no. And we just check that. And we will, oh man, don't tell me you got to pull it from the front. So, buying the plane, we've spent $28,000 and some change so far in our repairs, but we should be good now. So let's get on board. And we'll close you. All right. So a gas stop, we put 20 gallons of fuel in. Or I had the FBO gas this up. 20 gallons of fuel. I did the calculation. So at Reading Airport right now, fuel low lead 100 is $6.25 a gallon. So 20 gallons of fuel at $6.25 is what? That's going to be over $200. Fancy calculators, right? 20 gallons times $6.25. All right, no, math is hard. So $125 for fuel for our trip. And let's fire up. Let's get this thing warmed up and let's get going. An hour and 20-minute flight, I think. All right, so. All right, pre-flight complete. Control locks removed. Maneuvering speeds reviewed. Parking brake is set. Gear switch is down. Flaps are up. Radios are off. Autopilot's off. Avionics master is off. All electrical switches are off. Circuit breakers are in. Fuel quantity is checked both visually and by the fueling receipt. Pitot heat. So battery comes on. We'll check amps. Electricals look good. And rotating beacon on. All right, before start checklist complete. All right, fuel is balanced. So we're going to go left tank and fuel pump on. We're looking for fuel pressure. Good. And we'll over 3 pumps. Thank you. All right, let's go. Engine's sounding good. All right, so avionics, come on. You on. All right, so we need some cabin heat. We got to put the defrosters on. And we'll let her warm up while we get our flight plan in and everything set up. All right, so it looks like our flight plan is in. I imported it from the Navigraph, using like we did with the during the click the wrong thing. Just want to show you. So like we did with the when we took the 408 out. There's an option for Navigraph to load your flight plans from Navigraph into default aircraft. So this is a default working title 430, and so by that means we can import it in. If we had the say like the 650 in, or the the PMS 50, you wouldn't be able to do that. All right, so registration, we're 240 Mike. Keep hitting that. Okay, there we go. Let's get rid of you. So I don't like yokes. The reason I don't like yokes is I have a yoke in front of me, and sometimes they don't sync up. At least it's been my experience. Between the visuals of the graphic of the yoke here, and it could get confusing. So all right, so now with A, so I'm doing well. So Holden says, I'm doing well today. I hope you're doing good too. I've been looking forward to a VFD stream. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks very much, Holden. Yes, I'm always looking forward to hanging out with you guys again too. So, all right, you ready? All right, we're ready almost. Got to let the my cylinder heads warm up a little bit, so we got a minute. Let's turn on the radios, and we'll get our squawk code in. So we're looking at, what was it, 1725. All right, 1725 is in. We are squawking, walking, and talking. Let's put the pitot heat can come on. All right, we're departing runway 36, which is just right over there. I need CTAF. Rating CTAF is 119.9. Tell you what, though, I do miss having my GTN 750. I just punch that in and we're good to go. All right, 119.9. All right. All right, cylinder head temperature is in the green. Parking brake off. Brakes check. All right, we'll come up to the stop line and good. Stop there. All right, taxis. Primer locked master is on. Amp meter is checked. Flight radios are on. Flight plan is in. Frequencies are tuned. ADS-B is on. Transponder is on. Autopilot test. Heading indicator set. So we're going. Six. Autopilot disconnect. All right. Landing gear lamp is green. Down and green. Nav lights are on as required. Parking brake is released. Brake check and instruments are all checked in the green. All right. Not want to do a run up with a plane right behind me, so we'll come over here. Reading traffic. Comanche 240 Mike, taxiing to runway 36 via Alpha. We'll be doing a run up real quick. Reading traffic. Parking brake is on. Brake set. Mixture full. Bring it up to 2,000. Go. All right, magneto check. Left. Right. Back to both. Drops were all within range. We will pull the carb heat. And cycle props. Get some oil up there in the hubs. Bring it back down to 15. Stable. And we go all the way to idle. No cutout. And we bring it back up to 1,000. All right, we're looking good. All right, so we need to go east. Ready traffic, Comanche 240 Mike, taking off runway 36, turning out to the east for an eastern departure. Ready. Let's go. break off. Stage your flaps. We're just going to do a rolling takeoff here. Everything's in the green. So go. Muzzle brake, gear up. Traffic, Comanche 240 Mike or 240 Mike. Just took off runway 36, eastbound departure to direct to Pottstown. Last call. Ready. I'm ready. Holden, you join in. What's the cruise altitude? I filed 5,000 feet. Unicom. Climb power is set. We're on course. Off to our weekend trip for beer and lobster. And she is running it nice and smooth. I like it. We just keep trimming it out till we get to our cruise altitude of 5,000. I would have gone lower, but I figured that if we had actually had traffic in and around the area of New York, we might actually we might be better off at a little bit of a higher altitude. So that's why I filed 5,000. She trims out very nice. I love this plane, guys. Flaps can come up. Probably gonna need some trim there. It's gonna come off. So we're landing runway 23 over in Providence, and we'll program the ILS for that. All right, there's our cruise altitude. There's a lot of people flying around in multiplayer. That's cool. All right, so let's get some cruise power in. Definitely going to keep the RPMs at 24. I'm going to be a little faster than you, Billy. Put a little more conservative. Give us 155 knots. And then we'll lean it out. We'll do lean find, do Richard Peak. Plus, we got that new MT prop, which is actually a faster prop. So, might be tough to... tough to keep up. You're not looking good. Looking good. And we are off to the races, guys. There's Pottstown, Limerick. Here's the Limerick Power Plant. I just want to tell you guys that, so everybody who tuned into the Cessna 408 stream on Saturday, I just want to say that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. It was a long afternoon, but it didn't seem like that And so I want to appreciate you guys. And I want you guys to take notice. If you saw the first stream when we brought this plane in from Ohio with the banged up prop, everything was shaking. It's all fixed now. 5 and 6 are still a little warm. We have to keep an eye on them. They're within range. They're below red line, so. We're heading out towards Teterboro. I do think we have a waypoint in between. Yeah, SBJ. I honestly can't remember what SBJ is. Salzburg VOR. Salzburg VOR. So once again, because of this GPS, which is a more rudimentary GPS, my flight plan was VOR to VOR, just in case we have a backup. Hey Billy, those spreadsheets you put together looked awesome. That's much better than anything I could do. My stuff would have looked like just a boring spreadsheet. Dashboard still feels empty. Yeah, I think it looked good. It did. All right, so we're at 171 knots. I think we got a tailwind. I'm gonna put the. No, I don't have the wind lead. Yeah, we definitely got a tailwind. That's for sure. Because we're truing out at 150, so we got 20 knot tailwind. Just under 65% horsepower. So we're cruising at 65%. That's that MT prop. I bet if I went up to 75, man, we'd be in the yellow line easily. I sent it to you anyway. It's on Google Sheets. Cool. Very cool. It'll really come in handy to keep track of these flights. That way we could just have a running spreadsheet for the year. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome of you to take the time out for that. That's awesome. All right. We are cruising, looking good. Engine is running smooth. Knock on wood. And these past 2 days, guys, I've been in a little bit of a any reason to do spreadsheets is a win for you. Awesome. I like it. So I've been learning the TDFI MD-11, and we're going to be streaming that tomorrow. It's an expensive plane. It's way more expensive than PMDG, by like $10-15. But it's a very fun plane. So if you have the extra money, I recommend it. Took a little bit because we'll talk about it tomorrow more, but there's a lot of different things with it's very sensitive with control bindings. That's all I'm going to say about that. That took the longest time, but we got checklists. I got QRHs. I'm learning the flows. Did my first landing last night. Did not go well. She's a smasher. But I've been kind of running like a self-taught ground school with the help of Classic Jet Sim Pilot. I've been like religiously watching all his MD-11 videos with a notebook. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. We're doing UPS ops, so it should be a lot of fun. All right, we're stable in here. Let's do a fuel tank switch. Fuel pump on. Put the tank we want on, and we'll shut that off. Make sure we still hear a lot of noise, and we'll shut the fuel pump off. No. What the heck? There we go. Bump my keyboard. My keyboard is like below my yoke here. Bumped it. Passenger freight. Nah, we're doing cargo ops tomorrow. I'm gonna save the passenger one for a different route. We're just gonna do, because I didn't have a lot of time, so a nice UPS Philly to Louisville, Kentucky. But yeah, we're gonna be doing passenger flight. We're gonna fly up quite a bit. Nothing like a heavy 3-holer. And the FMC actually has a lot of. It reminds me of the FMC in the IndyBuilds A300. It has that flow to it. And it's actually, once you get the hang of it, it's not that. There are some little quirks and stuff like that, but once you get the hang of it, it's not a tough FMC to learn. But it's different. There's a lot of procedures that are different, a lot of sequences, a lot of different flows. So I had to, unlike hopping into an Airbus, like I went from Phoenix A320 to the Indibuild's A340. It's kind of similar, simple and similar, but the MD-11 and like the 737 are completely different flows. It's very Airbus for a Boeing. Yeah, I know. I thought it would be more Boeing-esque, and it really isn't. Unless I don't know what the name of the FMC is, but it's similar. I guess because there were similar errors, the A300 and the MD-11 kind of. Well, yeah, the A300 was before the MD-11. But I guess they were coming from the DC-10, so I don't know what the differences were, but it might have been the only type of FMC available at the time, is my guess. There's the let's say that's the Delaware River. Yep. But back to this. I'm actually very excited for this thing the whole year. I'm actually I want to see how much we actually spend. And we'll have to see sometime in the middle of the year. We're going to see about upgrading the avionics a little bit. Kind of like you would if you were ownership. I personally wouldn't keep the 430. I certainly would save up for something. You would spend like $650 for, or like what was it, like $8,000 for a GTN 650. But we'll do that sometime this summer. We're definitely gonna have to start going on tours, stuff like that. So I figured this one we'll go for Lobster and Beer with this flight, and we'll see about we'll fly her up to Killington, Vermont. It is winter time, so we're kind of limited on what we can do. We got to stay ice free, so we may start heading south. Limp keeps telling me that Florida's nice this time of year. Maybe Canada in the summer. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll start heading south because we're just going to keep running into problems with icing up here, snow and so forth. So we'll make a tour down south with the plane, and then when the summer hits, then we'll go and explore Canada. It's real good. I didn't wash it. We're gonna wash it in when we get to Providence. Have the FBO clean it. I wonder how much it costs for an FBO to do wash. Maybe we'll wash it ourselves. That'll save us money. We're not rich. We're not rich. I'm talking like this is a citation, like I own a Citation 10 or something. We'll just have the FBO clean it. If we have the FBO clean it, then it's gonna cost money. So, nah. We're gonna try not to add any exuberant costs. We're very conservative, you know, owner kind of thing. Pressure washer from Amazon tops, exactly. Exactly. But we only had the pressure washer though at Reading. We're gonna keep it at Reading because that's our home base. So I don't know if I want to add the weight of a pressure washer in the cargo area for every flight. But we definitely could have ourselves a little cleaning kit with like they make sprays with with rags and stuff like that. We could wipe it off, and then maybe once in a while we could say that FBO was nice to just lend us their pressure washer, because I know stuff like that happens. Let's see if I could turn that back on. See if it messes with anybody. Nope, auto FPS is running. So it kind of turned everything down. We were looking better without auto FPS on, right? But I just know that in and around this area, we're going to need auto FPS on. So maybe it does kill the thing. So how fast does this plane go? I think it trues out at like 170. So we have a true airspeed of 150 knots right now. And yeah, so it's about 150 knots. With the tailwind, we're cooking at 170. If I put it at, so let's see here. Let's go. goes 75% power, which is a normal fast cruise. So 24 and 24 is 75% power. And we're starting to climb up. So we were... It's going to take a second. They're doing almost 180. Yeah, it looks like we're going to come out to 180 knots across the ground, and we're truing out at 160. It's not a 200 plus plane. So let's bring this back to 22. It does have some range. Like if we had the tip tanks and everything filled up, and we only had maybe 3 people on board, there's 65% power. We can bump it back just a little bit more, and maybe 3 people on board. We could easily go 800 nautical miles in this thing. To me, that's the perfect speed for GA flying, in my opinion. Not too fast, but not too slow either. Right? So, although sometimes it's nice to have... So, my favorite single-engine GA aircraft is the TBM. Just because you don't necessarily have a lot of time, but maybe you want to do a nice long flight. So, in 3 hours in the TBM, I could be in Florida from Philadelphia. But as far as this goes, this type of mission that this plane offers is definitely the perfect speed. She's just fast enough so that you can go in your general area within an hour, 2 hours. You can easily punch out 300 nautical miles, no problem. She'll go 500 nautical miles full load. So So what's cool is with the multiplayer that I've seen is the fact that I know these guys are not on the network. We do have some planes around us that are on the network. It's not a lot. So we got United behind us, probably cutting through the backside of these people here. At a similar altitude. He just took off from Newark. The only thing I can foresee is if I fly both on the network and multiplayer. The only thing I could see is that I'm not going to be able to be necessarily courteous to these people on multiplayer. So we might actually have to go. So what I was thinking, even though like the lag's a little more, maybe a server that wouldn't be so popular for the area we're flying in. So like if we were on the east or if we were on the southeast server, now I know it's like 200 and the ping is like 200 something, where this is like 14 on the East Coast server. So if we do a different server, it would then just most likely be us. We can do group only. See, I don't know how to set that up. Does it have a unique, does it give you like a unique server? We could do that group only. I just have to figure out how to do that though. Like I know for group only flights with so it's just inviting people to a group and setting your multiplayer traffic to group only mode. Okay. Maybe we'll do that, guys. That way we're not messing, because if I'm on network and ATC is telling me directions, I can't tell VATSIM that I have to deviate for traffic, to try to be courteous to these people. So we're going to end up, cruising through them. But I guess you said you can hide too, if you had to. I have to read up more on it, I guess. You guys will help me out. We'll set it up. Because this multiplayer stuff's all new to me. Hold on, so me and Limp do group only all the time, and we can set it up. No problem. Awesome. Now, is there a limit to how many people can be in your group? Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, we are doing our second flight of the A2A ownership challenge. We have our plane that we purchased November 240 Mike, and we're going to be taking this baby all over the United States and Canada, pretty much all of North America throughout the year. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. Helps out the channel. And if you really like the stuff, you can hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate that. And it's 8. So hold it. Said, not that I'm aware of, but I'll check now. Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Yeah, because the only thing it would be is that if eventually enough people want to fly along, we might not, if there's a limit, if there's a cap. 6 players. Well, that's good for us now, but we'll have to figure out Might have to figure out stuff in the future. If more and more people want to fly. But there's two ways to fly right now that we're working on. You guys are tuning in. We're experimenting with multiplayer with VATSIM running, just to give more opportunity for people to fly along with us, especially our fellow simmers who use consoles. I don't believe you can use VATSIM as PC only, so kind of limits everybody. So multiplayer helps out in that aspect. So it says you could just make it one day do VATSIM, the other day do multiplayer, just to change it up if you don't feel like flying on the VATSIM network. We could do multiplayer only sometimes, because it was a lot more fun, especially with the Alaska type setup when we did Saturday, to not be on the network and not have to worry about the pressure of dealing with all that. Well, flying over Newark, flying over just passed over Teterboro. We got New York City in the background. There's Central Park. There's a haze. And we're going to be on the north side of the Sound. No, I know personally you hated it, but I really appreciated you coming along. That was a lot of fun. All you guys flying along. You had a birthday party to go to, man. All right, so just a reminder, because we're doing the persistent thing, we're not going to be able to do any landing replays. I'll record them if you guys want to. I mean, it's a little extra, but if you guys really like seeing the replays of the landings and stuff like that, you can record them, switch to another Comanche that's not this one, because each livery has a different persistence model. Excuse me. And then I could just play the replay if it's something you guys want. But if you're cool with not seeing the replays with these type of flights, then I'm cool with that too. It was a great birthday morning, afternoon. I had a blast. Well, glad to able to make your birthday a blast. Yeah, because we'll end up smashing the plane. Especially we'll end up smashing the gear. Replays are very hard on landing gear. I noticed that with a lot of persistent models. Like when I do replays with the black square and I get in the plane again, it's all hammered. Like I said, we're going to go on the north side of the Sound, kind of stay away from all that New York mess. And this route here actually was the route that JFK Jr. used. As you can see, and he had a problem though. It was coming into nighttime and this kind of haze was around. And he got he got caught up with spatial disorientation. Let's see what we got. So it's VFR conditions. Let's get a METAR for... let's get the weather for Providence. All right, so we got 150 at 8, 10 miles visibility, few at 11,000, broken at 13, broken at 25,000, 9, 29.61, no rain. So guys coming in. Okay. Yeah, so 150 is going to give us. So we're going to have a slight crosswind on our arrival. But if it's visual and we got the airport, I might just do a. We just might enter the pattern and head in there. But I am going to get the ILS chart up. Just to have that ready. That's funny. I know they're not all flying with me, but it kind of looks like a two-tone Murphy live stream. Hey Billy, have you tried the D40NG? I actually have not flown the D40NG yet. Right, so it's more like it's kind of like the 42, the DA42 with the diesel engines and the FADEC. So you don't have to worry about mixture or anything like that. Yeah, she's not a fast plane. But she's a more expensive plane, that's for sure. You got like $300,000, $400,000 for a DA40. I know the DA42 is $1 million at least. So what avionics does the Comanche come with? So pop it in here. So we can switch out our radio stacks. We We could go no GPS, which would just be all VOR, which is consistent with it, from the 1950s and 60s. We can put in the KLN 90B, which is the new one from, well, it's not new. It was a 2020. You have to add a plug-in from GitHub. And it's like a early 90s GPS, kind of similar to like the Lorans that came out in the mid 80s. You could put in GNS 530 or the 430 like we have, which is the cheaper one. So I have the TDS GTN series. So that's why you see GTN X5 or XI, because I have the TDS versions. You can also use the PMS versions, which is that one has a free one. This one, the TDS versions are actually quite pricey. I think all said and done, it cost me like $70 for this add-on, but it uses the actual GTN 750 650 trainer as its background, so it's like the real GPS, where the PMS is more using the default working title model and then just programmed to look like a 750. Both are good. I mean, the PMS I used for a long time back in 2020 until I upgraded, and they're both very formal. And then we have the RNAV, which is the R. So this is kind of like the RNAV setup that's in the black square planes. What was that? The something 80? RNAV 80 or something like that. It's in the black square planes. We can actually put that in here as well. That I never learned to use. I watched V1 simulations. He uses it pretty good. He learned how to do it, but I haven't quite figured that one out. But yeah, these are primo. That's why I think we should upgrade to at least this when we do our summer avionics upgrade. And then the last but not least, you could put the A5s in here, which is a digital HSI and artificial horizon. So you can go pretty full automatic suite. So the thing is with the GPSs now, they've installed the aftermarket GPSS that's in the Aerostar, so we can actually relax a little bit, follow the magenta line. Before that, it was just the S-Tech, and it would utilize the nav track to track the GPS, but it wouldn't do very sharp turns. So if you had a 90-degree turn on your flight plan, you actually had to switch to heading mode, turn on track, and then line it up manually and then engage the nav again. So with this, it actually follows the GPS line, so it just makes life a little easier. So sometimes I like using the older aviation style, but other times I just want to kick back and enjoy the scenery. Exactly. Joe Billy says the BedX 80B, not very intuitive, but once it clicks, it's nice to use. Oh yeah, I mean, it was pretty incredible piece of tech for the time. I absolutely love flying VOR to VOR without a GPS. I mean, if you see a lot of my DC3 streams, I think all of them except for one, I use just the regular old school radio stack, because there's something really satisfying, especially we also flew the 727 from Philadelphia down to Jacksonville, Florida, VOR to VOR, with INS as backup. And I'll tell you, there's something very satisfying about completing a flight, especially a long flight, navigating that old school way. It's a lot of work, but it has that satisfying feeling like, oh man, I just went 1,000 nautical miles using just radio beacons. The problem is that the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator is becoming is a representation of now in the time period. So VORs and ADFs especially they're going to the wayside. So it's hard to find VORs that can do the flight. VORs are fun when you good weather, and it gets really cloudy. I didn't find it as fun. I get that. And in the area with no nav aids, it's a test of your VFR skills? Exactly. Or your dead reckoning skills. That's when you pull out the old EB6 slide rule and figure out your wind drift and what heading and so on and so forth. Because if you know, so say you got 200 nautical miles between VORs, you're not going to pick that up. So you're going to have this dead zone for probably 50 miles. Now you know the course plot, but you're going to need to know your wind direction, and then you're going to have to calculate your heading offset so that you can point your nose into the wind to keep on track. I actually do have an EB6 somewhere here. I was using it on my DC3 streams. And get punched in the face with a spontaneous crosswind. Yeah, that's why you got to be all over the gauges, because a crosswind switch will actually start because you'll start seeing the deviation, and you'll be like, oh, okay, well now we got to figure out our new winds. So you actually, it's a lot of work, especially if you're going long distances. Dead reckoning. But it can be fun. But I like this kind of flying too, where you can just sit back, you just monitor different things. All our engine instruments look good. You actually can do a tank switch. All right, fuel pump on. Just hit the track, turn on the GPS, and just fly the route. Plus, this setup with following the magenta line makes VATSIM a lot easier. VATSIM to VATSIM, or VATSIM to VATSIM. VATSIM on VOR to VOR, flying slant alpha, is very difficult because. And it's not the controller's fault. They're just used to airliners. But you really throw, especially in some areas, you really throw a wrench into their flows. When they go, all right, go direct so and so, and you're like, give me a vector, but I can't go direct. And they're accommodating, of course. I've only maybe done 1 or 2 flights VOR to just slant alpha. So we've got this haze and cloud line because there's a storm front coming in. It's actually supposed to snow a little bit up here in the northeast in overnight into tomorrow. If you guys want to see if you're interested in seeing how I did it, and I say that how I did it because it may not necessarily be the perfect example of how to fly VORs, but it worked. Definitely check out some of my DC3 streams. I know for a fact the Buffalo Airways one where we went up to where we were flying around what's the name of that airport? Haywood, that area. I was using the EB6 to figure out our we went across the lake. There's a big lake there between Haywood and I can't remember that other airport, but there's no VOR signal, so there's a stretch where I had to do the dead reckoning calculation. Yeah, we're supposed to snow very soon in the next hour or so. Yep. It's coming right across from the west. And I was looking at the map, and that's why we didn't go up to Rutland, which is up by Killington, Vermont, because we would have been flying in the soup most of the way, and the temperatures were going to be not ideal for this plane. I wonder if they made an aftermarket de-icing kit for the Comanche. So this is a great plane, guys, and I'm not just as the kids like to say glazing it, but it's really truly a great plane. And my only really the only drawback, and it's really not a drawback or a terrible or bad thing, is a cover. It would be nice to, when we park, tie it down, because we're not hangering the thing, to be able to put a cover over it. I think that would be cool. I know they're doing covers, and you can have, with the custom tail number on it. I mean, that is certainly not a game changer or game breaker for this plane. It doesn't have the cover, but it would just be cool. Because that's something that we would have. We'd definitely have a color, either a cover or a sunscreen put in the windows, just to keep the sun off of our our interior so it doesn't fade and crack. I also got another toy. So I got a that we might play with in future streams once I figure out how to get OBS to talk to it right is I got the box that allows you to connect an actual aviation headset. So I have my old student pilot one from, it's not my original. I don't know when I acquired it somewhere. But it's nothing fancy. It's just a real cheap student pilot one. But I can connect it in. And they have what's really cool about aviation headsets is because they have a really distinct voice sound that I thought would be neat to incorporate with this type of flying, maybe. So when I talk to you guys, it feels more like I'm talking to you from the cockpit with the aviation headset on. But I did a quick test with it, and it's kind of quiet, so I gotta put some filters on it to bring it so that you guys can hear me. So it said, Berkeley said you will get more Alaskan dirt. It's a pressure wash. Yeah. Oh my God, that C408 was so dirty. No way to arbitrarily. So I found the only way to clean that is to just reset the plane. You would have had to restart it or reloaded it. You know, this whole flight, I forgot to put my flight bar up. My flight bar overlay. I'm not going to do it now because we're actually going to be turning up, heading towards the airport very shortly. But I believe I forgot that. Yeah. It was fun landing the A340 in Alaska the other day. Oh, yeah, the model matching. We brought that A340 in some crazy airports. I wonder if there's a way to improve how Microsoft model matches. A340 Stall Edition, yep. At least the weather broke. We weren't in rain the whole way. We waited another. I mean, if you look at the map on VATSIM, just to glance over, that storm front is just, we're racing just in front of it. But this is why I like the idea of aviation. And I'll tell you why. So if I was going to drive up here from my home, it would easily be a 5.5 hour, maybe even a 6 hour drive with traffic around New York City. And it's taking us an hour and 20 minutes. So as Holden says, that's something that I love about 24's weather. The weather actually moves and doesn't just pop place to place. Yeah, I mean, it's truly a dynamic thing. You could sit at an airport and watch a front blow in, which is pretty cool. All right, so this is going to be our next turnout, and we're going to be turning up north, and we're looking at just another 40 nautical miles, which would be about 10 minutes to our airport. This is Connecticut. Which airport is this? GON. KGON. So I can't remember if you showed this before, but can you edit the wingtips? So you're asking if you can lose the tip tanks? Yes. Yes, there is an option for tip tanks. So here. Somewhere. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. The G5s, visible passengers. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Apparently you can't. I'm not sure that the Comanche came without tip tanks, so that might be the reason why, just to think about it. It's a good question. Let me see if I can find PA-24-250. So how about A2A version? So it looks like there was versions of the plane without tip tanks. So let me just set up the aircraft for the approach real quick. 1093. It's in there. And we need to come down to 1900 for the thing. I'm actually hoping we can see the airport. But one of the other thing is I'm going to need the CTAF for Providence. CTAF for Providence is 120.7. All right. Let's see if we can really find it. It's got to be in the controls. Yep. I guess not. Maybe 24 version. Maybe the 2024 version doesn't have that. So it was a Mandela effect. I swear at some point you were able to not have tip tanks. Anyway, we're good. We don't have to worry about icing. This route should bring us actually activate the approach now. That's fine. We don't need it. I think we're going to be visual anyway. So we're actually, let's see, we can actually start coming down a little bit. So why you say my fuel doesn't look right? Because I never updated my visual engine monitor. From the last flight. All right, I'll bring it back to 20. Start down. It would help if I turn the trim the right way. All right, so we have to come in 2,200 or 1,900 feet. Switch over. Province traffic, Comanche 240 Mike is 7 miles to the south of the airport, landing runway 23. Province. Actually, I am going to disconnect the autopilot. And we're going to enter the pattern. Providence traffic, Comanche 240 Mike, we're entering the right downwind for runway 23. Providence. You would never do this, guys. Just saying. Okay, so this is the departure end of the runway. You'd never cross the departure end of the runway like that. This was a very poor example of how to enter a pattern. But it's been a while since I actually flew a pattern. All right, first stage of flaps. Gear can come out. Lights can come on. RP. This type of flying actually makes track IR a good investment. All right, stage your flaps out. Providence traffic 240 Mike, turning base, runway 23, Providence. A little low, but we'll fix that. Providence traffic 240 Mike, turning final, runway 23, Providence. We got red over white. And we'll go flaps full. Get gumps, gear down, mixture, prop full, landing lights on, clear to land. Someone said that was a great tight turn, right in line with the runway. Sometimes I get it right. All right, we're looking good. Providence traffic 240 Mike, landing runway 23, Providence. All right, we have the runway made. Brian, just kiss it, save our landing gear. There we go. Oof. That was a little bit of a bounce. "63 feet per minute, guys. 63 feet per minute. With our crosswind, I did bring the left hand gear down a little hard. So hopefully I don't think we damaged anything. It was a little stiff. They said, hey, is this Flight Simulator? What game is this? This is a Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Where is the turnoff? There we go. Providence traffic 240 Mike, clear the runway. Providence. Let's say we got not bad at all. Those planes take a lot of practice. Have to get used to the visual aspects with no callouts. Exactly. But we didn't do too bad. 63 with the right gear or the left gear coming down just a little hard on the D crab or whatever for the crosswind. But that was also not that bad either. So I think we're good. So to say thanks. I'm seriously planning on getting it to learn more about airplanes and stuff. Do you recommend it for learning from your experience? Oh, absolutely. Especially if you start off with the basic planes and then you can move up to more advanced planes that are out there. You can really learn a lot about aviation and flying in general. There's a lot you can do with any of these planes, from basic navigation to just tooling around. And if you're really bored, you can do, it's a simulator, so you can do some crazy stuff. But yeah, I highly recommend it. All right, so let's see where we're going here on airport map. Providence traffic, Comanche 240 Mike, taxiing to general aviation ramp via Mike Alpha, Providence. Strobe off, taxi light off, or I mean landing light off. So there's no taxi light, so there's wing lights on either side of this plane. So generally for taxiing, you would shut one of the wing lights off, so it's not super bright. See if there's anything in the after landing. After landing, flaps up. You're neutral, fuel pump officer. All right. All we got left is the trim neutral, which is trim is neutral. Good. Nice airport for I actually kind of like the way this one looks compared to the any builds. But I think our plane ran fine this route. It's that new prop really put some giddy up in it, and our engine ran smooth. This is a good flight, guys. Providence tracking 240 Mike, crossing runway 34 at Mike, Providence. Right there's Alpha. There's also the cargo ramp for the area too. North Star Aviation sounds like a good place to stop. All right, parking brake on. All lights are off except for beacon. Avionics can come off. Welcome to Providence, Rhode Island, ladies and gentlemen. First, all right. Left their beacon on. Can't have that. Now we're good. Just real quick. It's all off. Okay. Yeah, because if we left our battery on when we came back, it would be. Let's put just chalky real quick. It would be dead when we came back in, and we just bought that brand new battery, so. All right, guys. Awesome. So it was a good flight. Handled well. We'll have to put this one in. I'll get all the information. I'll have to put this one into the logbooks, and we'll have to figure out where we're going from here. But for now, let's get some. Let's go into Providence and get some lobster, some beer, maybe some burgers. I don't know, whatever you guys want. But that's going to be it for the flight, guys. And like I said, no replay because it messes with the persistence. And I want to thank everybody who flew along. We got, wait, drunk. Billy, you're not, have you landed yet? I almost forgot. No. That would have been a terrible shame. All right. Let's go watch Billy land. Oh, I missed you. I missed you. Sorry about that, Billy. I want to thank everyone for flying along, watching, participating, talking in chat. We got Holden, Drunk Billy, eight fiber him. We got some correct model matching here. It wasn't the best landing for you? That crosswind was a little stiff. But all right, so that's going to be it for the stream. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got more coming. Tomorrow's live stream, we're going to take the TDFI MD-11, just released for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We're going to do some cargo ops. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So tune in tomorrow, 1 o'clock. And hope to see you guys there. So until next time, This is Virtual Flight Diaries. My name is John. See ya.